Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News for Friday, March 13. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips opened the budget debate Thursday afternoon and announced fiscal measures designed to not only generate revenue but also improve tax compliance and protect Jamaica's economic reform gains. Simone Wolfe has the details.
The finance minister told Parliament that while there was a budget gap of $22 billion for fiscal year 2015-2016, government would only seek $10.4 billion of that amount from taxes.
Tax compliance efforts are expected to provide $12.3 billion.
To help secure the remaining $10.4 billion, $488 million will be earned from an increase to the special consumption tax on every stick of cigarette. GCT at the standard rate will be reimposed on residential electricity usage above 350 kilowatt hours, yielding $807 million. The 0.5% environmental levy on imported goods will now also apply to domestic sales with some exceptions to earn $962 million, and $500 million will come from rationalizing several outdated trade and business license fees. Government also expects to earn $6.4 billion from an increase to the specific SCT rates on petrol, which will be used to insure against the prospect of further sharp increases to international oil prices and the potential negative consequences for Jamaica's economy.
Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, the government has taken the decision to purchase a hedge in the market. We propose to hedge 50% of our oil consumption. What I'm saying here does not affect the electricity component.
$1.8 billion, meanwhile, is to be earned by replacing the 1% petroleum cess paid by Petrojam to the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica with a specific SCT of $2 per litre. Dr. Phillips stressed that this would have no impact on Petrojam's reference billing prices for petroleum products. Minimal revenue will come from expanding the policy to eliminate zero rating under the GCT Act to all but a few government entities and from the introduction of a 3% withholding tax on some specified services. Other fiscal measures will offer no revenue gains but are designed to stimulate some industries and offset the social impact of the economic reform initiative. These include a further increase to the income tax threshold to $592,800 per annum effective January 1, 2016, allowing workers to take home more of their pay. The asset tax rate for life insurance companies, which was increased to 1% last year, has been cut to 0.25% in line with other financial institutions, while the gross premium tax and the net investment income tax for the insurance industry will be abolished and a corporate tax of 25% introduced. Simone Wolfe reporting for JIS News.
And the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, has given the Finance Minister high marks for the growth-inducing strategy he unveiled as he opened the budget debate Thursday. PSOJ Chief Executive Officer Dennis Chung says the government remains on the right track. Mr. Chung has also lauded the administration for strategies such as the newly announced hedge fund program, which will act as insurance, protecting the country from potential shock from any spike in oil prices.
We are in full support of the hedging.
In full support of that? PSOJ.
Right, the president of PSOJ has come out and said he's in full support of that, and we think that this is a good place at which to try and hold a reasonable price. So, we'll wait on the details of that, but we're in support of the principle.
Mr. Chung made the comments during a JIS TV special panel discussion on the Finance Minister's budget presentation. Meanwhile, during Dr. Phillips's budget presentation, it was also revealed that the Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, had exceeded its targeted $3 billion loan commitment to micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, for the current fiscal year.
They exceeded it by $300 million and in fact have approved in excess of 8,800 loans.
For the 2015-2016 fiscal year, DBJ has committed to lend $4 billion to MSMEs. Under its loan guarantee program, DBJ will also increase the maximum value of its guarantee from $10 million to $15 million to cover up to 50% of loans to small and medium enterprises. Guarantees will be provided for up to 80% on small business loans below $6.2 million to cover a maximum of $5 million. And Dr. Phillips revealed that 8 local and international fund managers have responded to the DBJ's call to submit proposals for venture capital funding.
The DBJ and some investors are now doing due diligence on 6 of the fund managers, and it is expected that in the course of the 15-16 fiscal year, 1 or 2 fund managers will be actively operating.
In other news, the recently announced Memorandum of Understanding MOU to invest $5 billion in Jamaica's logistics hub initiative is expected to be signed next week with a foreign investor.
It's a consortium of Austrian and American persons and investors and developers. The MOU will be signed next week. We are in the throes of finalizing the arrangements. The investors will be here shortly, and we'll then finalize everything, but I'm confident that we'll be able to sign the MOU next week.
The industry minister says the MOU will facilitate a series of infrastructure projects and will transform the business landscape for logistics and position the country for increased investments. It will bring total investments in the logistics hub initiative to $6.5 billion, more than half the $10 billion target. Minister Hilton was speaking at the 2015 Jamaica Investment Forum in Montego Bay. JAMPRO's chairman Milton Samuda says the forum facilitated over 160 business meetings, adding that investors have expressed strong interest in a number of sectors, including business process outsourcing and tourism.
There are 2 hotel projects which I feel, even at this early stage, fairly certain will happen over the next 2 to 3 years. And people need to understand that it does take that time for it to unfold.
And finally, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, continues to monitor air quality in the corporate area and sections of St. Catherine affected by smoke from a fire at the Riverton City landfill. Smoke blanketed sections of Spanish Town Road and 3 miles in the vicinity of the landfill Friday, even as crews from the Jamaica Fire Brigade and other agencies battled the blaze. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, issued a caution to motorists to avoid the area if possible. And schools in the corporate area and St. Catherine were also ordered closed on Friday, while the Health Ministry cautioned persons in the area with respiratory illnesses to use a damp rag to reduce the impact of the smoke. In the meantime, officials are still trying to source specialized equipment to help fight the blaze.
We are really seeking owners of D9 and D10 equipment to contact us at numbers 906 9674-5 or 754-9077-8. I'm going to say that again because we have been making calls all this time for persons with these equipment to come forward, but it has now become necessary for us to make this a public call.
On Thursday, the state minister chaired a meeting of the interagency task force that's managing the situation. The ODPEM is the agency leading the efforts to get the situation under control. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.